Hey, I'm back. Now, I have been standing here for quite some time, and I'm going to let you see my roux. Look how pretty. That looks like silky chocolate. Now, I just want to tell you that when you're cooking your roux, it's going to smell a little burnt, like something's burning just a little bit. But that's how it's supposed to smell, and I mean, it's not a bad smell. It's a good smell. It's a good burn, not a bad burn. Now, like I said, now down in Louisiana, we have these pre-made cut, and it's so much easier, and it's onions and garlic, a little celery, a little bell pepper, and I think that's all that's in it. I don't know. Anyway, it stops the cooking process. And you want to throw that in. It's probably a cup of onions, maybe a fourth a cup of bell pepper, a fourth cup of celery, a few cloves of garlic minced. And I throw that in there and let it cook down for a couple minutes, just to get a little bit soft. And we are very lucky down here that there's a couple of companies who make that so that we don't have to, because there's several recipes. Now, I also make my etouffee just like that, but I don't let my roux get that dark. My roux, I'll take out my peanut butter, and I get my roux about the color, a little darker than peanut butter for my etouffee. And my roux is so dark right now, it's going to be delicious. Now, my husband's father, Herb, the kids call him Granddad, he stood in the kitchen with me many a time, showing me how to make a good roux, showing me how to make a good gumbo. He made the most delicious gumbo. I am constantly trying to make my gumbo taste as good as his gumbo. Still, I'm not sure I've ever gotten to the status of Granddad, but I've come close. But then I put my chicken broth in, a little bit at a time, and stir it up. Turn up the heat so it'll all mix in pretty, with the heat. Now, you're going to know if your roux separated if you start seeing, it'll be obvious that the oil and the flour, it's going to look like an oil slick on top. So, oh, this looks and smells delicious. I can't wait. And the longer this sits on the stove and absorbs the flavors, the better. And this is one of those things that also tastes even better the next day. Although after draft night, I almost never, ever have leftovers. So this is my second one. And your gumbo can be any desired thickness. Mine is the thickness of a soup. Most gumbos around here are. Now, I'm not originally from Louisiana. I grew up in the military until I was around 12 years old when my father decided it was time to retire from the Air Force. My mother's family lives in Mobile, Alabama, and so that's where my father decided to retire. And so I lived there until I met my husband at a rugby tournament, and he was playing for a Louisiana team. His college team, Southeastern Louisiana University, and it's pretty much love at first sight. And that's it. From there, we dated for about a year and got married, and I've been here ever since. That was about 28 years ago, and we stayed. I moved here, and it is my adopted home. And my kids were born and raised here. And now I've had to learn to make all the Louisiana. It's the best food. I have been all over the country and a few places outside of the country, and there is no better food than in Louisiana. Okay, so I've poured all 3 of my chicken broths in here. Now I also will probably add a little bit of water to fill it up. I don't know. It just depends on if I'm going to add my sausage. Now that sausage is going to add a little more fat to it and spiciness. And then I'm going to add my chicken thighs and chicken breast meat. And it's all just going to cook down inside of the broth and just give it such good flavor. No, I'm not going to need to add any water to this. This is plenty. Now, at the end of this, I will add a little bit of Tabasco sauce to give it a little more spiciness. Not too much. I'm going to add a little bit of salt from the heavens so you can control it better. And some Tony Chachere's Creole seasoning. It's this is our salt. Basically, everybody around here uses the Tony Chachere's, and we are generous with it around here. It's salt, pepper, red pepper. It's pretty much got everything but the kitchen sink in it as far as seasonings, and it goes. We travel with it because my youngest son and my husband put it on everything. All right, so let me let you see what it looks like. Oh, I don't mean to make you dizzy. This is what it looks like. It's not quite as dark as I thought it was going to be, but it's pretty dark and fairly thick. And now it's all going to cook down, and then I'm going to boil some rice. I like to use the jasmine. There we go. I'm sorry. I like to use the jasmine boil-in-a-bag rice because it's got, like I said before, it's got kind of a nutty flavor to it. And we will put that in a bowl and then put the gumbo on top, and it is delicious. Now, if I had made a seafood gumbo, I would have made all of it, and then in the last, I don't know how long, I would have put some crawfish tail meat in it. I would have put shrimp in it. I would have put crab meat. I would have put oysters, which I don't like, but I put the oysters in there for everyone else. And then everyone fights over who gets mine. And then I also put gumbo crabs, which you can buy in the frozen section at the grocery store. It just gives it a really good flavor. And that's it. That's my gumbo, and I hope you guys try it. It is really good. It's really not hard. I know a lot of people are really scared of making a roux and making a gumbo, but it's just really easy. I'll be back in a little bit to make my Shishi's sugar cake, and thanks for watching. Y'all have a great day, and good luck with the gumbo. Bye, y'all.